Hello and welcome to Black Economics TV. We have with us today Dr. Maxwell Ampong. Welcome, Dr. Maxwell. How are you?
I am doing very well.
And you are from Maxwell Investment Group.
Yes, Maxwell Investments Group.
Okay, takes your name, huh?
Yep.
Tell me about the business.
Yes, so thank you very much for having me on in the first place. I think the initiative is doing a lot. Having to be on this platform to contribute to the voice or the echo that you are having. I need to first start by saying thank you for what you're doing for the community, both the SME, the Black industry. I need to say thank you for that first. But for Maxwell Investments Group, the name, everybody keeps asking me if I'm into finance because it starts with investments. From school, we told ourselves we were going to create the biggest bank in Africa because we looked at the biggest bank across the world, across the pond. There are trillions in assets, and our biggest bank in Africa was just a couple billion. So we were like, there should be a way. So quickly we realized that's where the name comes from, the investments come from. That's what the name was by popular. It was a vote. My team voted and decided on the name. So it wasn't like I kind of chose the name. I have a team of very close friends. My managing director I've known for 20 years is a medical doctor. My head of tech is a biomedical engineer whom I also went to school with at Achimota College in Ghana. I wasn't knowing him for about 20 years. I surround myself with people that understand what we are doing because we are a profit for purpose organization. After we realized that being a financial institution wasn't going to be that easy, we had to choose another sector. And at that time, we were green in that sector, which we realized agriculture was the biggest sector in Ghana back then. I had gone back home. My mom was not feeling too well, first stage cancer. And I had to rush back home and I realized I had to stay for a bit. So whilst I was there, this is what we wanted to do. But after a few years, if we can't do this in the financial sector, what sector are we going to choose? Agriculture contributes over 50% to Ghana's economy, but it's the Ghanaians play, aside cocoa, which is government regulated, the other sections of agriculture wasn't played, or the sector players weren't really indigenous, let me use that word. So we decided to take it upon ourselves. It wasn't easy in convincing a group of investment bankers and medical doctors, archaeologists, biomedical engineers, who were all, thinking about how much we're going to do. We're young and hungry. To why don't we become socially conscious and profit for purpose? They told me I was out of my mind.
Peppers.
Yeah, like what happened? Has the charity bag bitten you or something? So I had to tell them that no, this is not charity. You don't need to be poor if you don't need to. Two things. Doing good doesn't make you poor. And also you don't need to be rich before you start doing good. So we just have to just make sure that we are doing good whilst making a buck. It's to me, it's a simple compass that has guided us since then, which is whilst making the buck, do no evil. Just do good and let that guide you. Because we always knew we would do well because we are just passionate about what we do. So we went into agriculture. We sold our first truck. I remember when we sold our first truck of maize, and now we do millions of kilos in country and out of Ghana as well. And I'll give my team the credit. If they didn't believe in me, just imagine we going from a licensed public deposit taking institution to let's go sell maize.
Yeah.
They were like, you are bonkers. But the belief, my team, everybody, you keep saying your team. It's this, that's the reason why. Because I can sit even here as I'm here right now in the UK, and I know my team is replicating, what we have collectively come together. And that's what happens when Blacks when we come together as a people and say we want to do something, we want to cause a change. We've seen a certain gap within the sector, and we want to fill it because we know nobody is really doing the actual work. They're trading. But you go on the ground and the impact wasn't being felt. Because if I'm from somewhere else and I come trade in your country, I take the money, I go back to my country. That's how it works.
So most of your team are based in Ghana then?
Yes, most of my team are based in Ghana. That's why they are my college mates, because I went to high school in Ghana. I went to Achimota College. So I called Dr. Abigail Anyomi, who is now the managing director of the company. She was the head of Eastern Regional Hospital. Just imagine working in a regional hospital at that level, and your high school mates calls you and like, hey, hello, remember when we were in Scripture Union and I was a chaplaincy prefect? Yeah, I'm having a company now and I need you to quit being a medical doctor and come help me out. This is why I keep saying my team is my everything. The belief they have in me is, I am forever grateful to them, because that's why the dream still stands, because we are doing things that haven't happened before. And you need people that are willing to say, let's just do it. Let's make it happen. And they are that type. They are my crazy bunch. I love them to death.
Okay, so you're in agriculture, and so far you've mentioned you're selling peppers. These are sweet peppers or hot peppers?
No, we've not gone into chili peppers yet, not at the scale at which for me to add it to the list of things we do. But my biggest by volume, it's shea nut.
Shea nut. Oh.
By volume is shea nut, then soya bean, then maize, then sesame seeds, annatto seeds, cashew nuts. There are some commodities that you need to be a little bit you need to do it for a few years before you don't lose, you don't make the mistakes that an entry level person will make. So another issue that I realized when I went back home was that lack of data that we could build on. So I do what's safe. So I know, I mean, I could trade soya bean without even being like, I could do it with my eyes closed, Shea nut is one of the most dangerous things to sell because it loses a lot of moisture very fast. So assuming you're transporting a commodity that has a weight of, let's say, a bag of 100 kilograms, and it's losing moisture as you transport it. So you weighed it in the field. By the time it gets to your client, it's 95 kilograms. That's dangerous. So these are all the little nuances that are part of my business that I am, without my team, I don't think would have been able to overcome it, because we had to get onto the field, get our hands dirty, learn these things ourselves.
Yeah.
And
so shea nut, this is what shea butter comes from, yeah?
Exactly. This is where shea butter comes from.
And there's so many hair products and skin products that are made from shea butter.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let me give you a statistic. I do roughly 20 million kilos of shea butter every single year to the biggest processor in Ghana. Sounds like a big figure until you realize that the biggest exporter of shea butter in West Africa takes out 500,000 tons, to be 500 billion kilos.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be 500 million kilos, sorry. So you see, that's why we don't feel big, because we know the sector, we know the numbers, and that's why data is so important. I keep saying that.
Yes.
We need the data that's there. A company is taking out 500 million kilos of shea nut, and that's why you see the shea butter. It all comes from our land. It all comes from Africa. Lots from Africa. Lots and lots of it comes from Africa. And they process it to do the oils. There are a lot of other extracts, even cooking oil, a lot of other extracts that comes from it.
Oh, really? Oh. So that's called vegetable oil, because I've never seen anything called shea oil.
Exactly. So I think there are some popular brands that are based from shea, and the biggest processing factory for shea is one of our biggest clients. They've been very good to us. And that's another thing. You meet 3 people or 4 people, and then this 5th or 6th person becomes so good that God puts them in your way, and then you stick with them, and suddenly you're giving them 20 million kilos. So it's also something that I think Black entrepreneurs should learn how to emulate, which is the patience to wait for God's time. Because Sometimes one person can change your life, one company can change your life, So yeah, one company that takes all our share and most of our share, and they do so about 16 different extracts from it. And it's just fantastic. And it took patience, it took time, it took on the ground learning, getting our hands dirty. That's an important part. It's an important part. Getting our hands dirty was a very important part. Going into the farms, the field.
That's right, because you're dealing with what happens on the soil, dealing with the farmers and the land and the weather.
Exactly. And if you sit in the comfort of your air-conditioned office, you would not understand the nuances of it. And the platform or the channel for some of these things, before it gets to you, that it'll be too late. So what we did was so impactful that I remember I was again here when I got a call from Ghana's biggest and oldest agricultural trade union, and what we call the Trade Union Congress. It's actually got instituted by an act of government that they've heard of what we're doing. So when I come back to Ghana, they want to talk. And it was simple, which is, young man, you're doing something different. We don't know how you're doing it. You know how I'm doing it. I'll just be nice. Frankly, listen, we were just nice. And I keep telling people that the worst clients are the best clients. If you keep them, they can't go to anyone else because you are the one who's going to take their.
Yeah.
So we were getting to places and spaces and using our concepts, it kind of impacting it's a good feeling. I remember my first year being conference, a farmer telling me, Dr. Maxwell, look at my shoe. That I say this story on stage all the time. That was when the first time I got maybe bit by the charity bag. That was the first time I felt like, wow, I affected a life. Like, he's happy that his shoe is brand new after working with me. You think these things, you know them already until you experience it, and then you feel it all over again, and it just takes you to another place. So now we sign an MOU with them. They're supposed to be for the welfare of the farmers, not to trade. So technically, I am now the duly appointed official business advisor to Ghana's largest agricultural trade union. And I have unlimited access to the stakeholders, which I've grown them to now over 110,000 farmers all across over 200 communities.
110,000 farmers?
Yes, because
across Ghana?
Yep, across Ghana.
What? That's
so market access is not a problem for us. What's a problem for us is people like you supporting us. We need more people to do what you are doing to be able to kind of like understand the agro commodities supply chain, because every investor uses data, and the farming sector is largely informal, which it shouldn't be, considering how important it is. So any opportunity to put some data out there is a contribution to making sure that there can be more market participants. And that's why I'm thanking you for what you've done, because I've watched the other interviews, and what you try to do is to shine a light on, on the good that could possibly come and happen. I'm sure you've directly and indirectly affected me, maybe 1 million lives. I don't know.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. I hope that somebody's listening and being inspired,
Exactly.
That's certainly the idea, because we certainly feel that the economic status of our community, the Black community around the world, we want it to rise and rise and rise. And in some situations it's like this, in some situations it's like that.
Yep.
So we're trying our best to sort of get stories like you out there to inspire others. I mean, to have 110,000 farmers working to provide items from their farm, to whether it's to export or to sell within Ghana, I mean, that's really astounding.
It is.
And you have their names and addresses of everyone, yeah? They're on a database.
And that is what I am glad that I can say proudly I help contribute to the union. That formalization. I didn't create the farmers; they were already there. They were already doing what they were doing.
Wow! So not even the government had this long list, yeah?
I will not let you put me into trouble, Don. I am not going to say anything about the government. Leave me out of this.
Okay. I hear you.
But yeah, I think you get a whiff of the situation as it is. They're already there, but somehow things are not going the way they're supposed to go. So someone needs to move something because things are moving, but other things are staying static. And this is why I do my job, because I know it affects lives. And that is a feeling nobody can replace. I don't think any amount of check will be able to replace that feeling that I feel. And luckily for me, yeah, I was right. Like I promised my team, you can't do good and make a buck. So
absolutely. So are you doing this in other countries as well?
Yes, so we are registered here in the UK. We're trying to run every operation from our US office now. In Ghana, we are in Burkina Faso, we're in Ivory Coast, we're in Togo, Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone was a very humbling experience because I haven't been there too many times. We just working with one of my my very good friends. Another thing that young entrepreneurs should take from this, if they watch this interview, is people don't change. So if you know a good person, usually just stick with the good guys. My old boss will tell you that a good deal with a bad person is not going to go through, just doesn't work. So what I try to do is when I find a good person, I keep them very close.
Yeah.
So I have this one good friend called Derek, right? And I sent him to Sierra Leone, and we started trading with some women. And before I realized I am a data-driven guy because I didn't find data when I came. When I returned back to Ghana, I didn't get the data that I needed to work. So I realized that there was this black gaping hole there. So we started to trade, and I told them simple things like just write their names on a piece of paper, information, and upload it onto a Google Drive. So they created different Google Drives because drives started getting full of videos and everything. Years later, I'm like, okay, I want to formalize my operations in Sierra Leone. I want to streamline things because I don't want anybody to come around and come and tell me I'm doing something, that I'm not supposed to do here or there. I want to get some permits. Then I check and let them tabulate everything and realize, oh my God, we've been working with 2 million women.
What?
And this is why I am passionate about my job. There was this survey in India, right? That said that if you give microfinance to women, there is, I've forgotten the percentage, but it was higher, like almost like a 70-80% chance that they'll pay you back than if you lend to men. So my instruction was simple: trade with a woman, don't trade with men. I wasn't being sexist or anything. I was following that, and this is why I believe in what we are doing. I was following what someone's research somewhere has said, and India is akin to Africa in many ways, in the sense of not the development part. I'm talking about the underdevelopment. There are sections of India that are so underdeveloped that the products there and the research they've done there, I realized, oh my God, it's the sample size, or the sample people, let me say the sample individuals are akin to Africans. So I'm like, okay, Derek, here's some money. I remember, I can even tell you, well, just $5,000. I'm like, okay, just try it. Just start trading. Second 4 years after that, 2 million. So we got a letter from the office of the president commending us for the Invest in Productive Women initiative, as we called it. I'll send you the letter, and telling us to, keep it going. And when the invitation came, I didn't go because I thought they were going to put me in jail.
You're kidding.
I have data on 2 million women. I didn't know what they wanted to do with me. They just invited me over, and I'm like, Derek, I'm not coming. You handle that. So I now regret it because I could have met the person back then. But Derek went, took a few pictures, which I'll send to you again. And yeah, I don't think I've ever said this on any platform. This is the first platform I'm saying this. And the first platform I'm going to show the picture and the letter and all of that. But that is, all those things reinforce what we're doing. That a group of young people can actually do good and make a buck.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you something. If the government asks you for your data, they want that list, what would you do?
Recently I got asked for that data by an institution, and I told them that I am working with a union. If the union was a private union, I would say that I own the data. But unfortunately, this not fortunately, actually fortunately in a way. So I am the trust of the farmers is something that I carry every dear to my heart. So I am not the head of the union. Yes, I have some leeway with the union. I have an MOU with them. I'm the official duly appointed business advisor to the union. Only ever, first ever in the history, in the 60-year history of the union, they've never had a business advisor. But I see everything I do as under the union.
Yeah.
So technically, if a government official calls, I see it as we are on one side. But what I don't do is to betray the trust of sitting in front of someone to say, well, don't worry, just, it's for the good of you. Give me your name, give me your age, next of kin, your ID number. It's a certain trust you have to have for them to say, this is a familiar face. I know you. You bought and sold my goods and gave me more money than the next guy gave me. You didn't lie to me. You bought off season. You didn't wait for my tomatoes to get a little bit rotten to squeeze me on the pricing. I trust you. I like you. Hey, let's all come onto his platform. So I know how fragile that is, and I do not mess with it. So most institutions that ask me for that, I don't.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But just guard it well, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually encrypted. Yeah.
Ooh.
I believe in technology. I think technology can change a lot of things. Financial literacy, technology. There's a few things that I try to advocate in the circles that I find myself, because it is crazy to think that a grandmother who has not even seen the inside of a school can take their phone and use mobile money, which is like one of the biggest fintechs. I would say one of the biggest fintech innovation in our generation, and send money to someone else in another town. Before that innovation, you would think it would take some widespread education in order to teach people how to do that. So that's the power of technology when it's widely adopted.
So you would pay them via mobile money as well?
Yeah, they are very cash-based people. So I mean, the ecosystem, I mean, it's not largely all rural, but farming in Ghana is mostly rural. Very few mechanized farms, AI and farming, forget about it. You try your best. It's why I'm working with GCB Bank now, that I can talk about. I hope I can talk about it. GCB Bank is the biggest indigenous bank in Ghana, biggest and oldest in the indigenous bank in Ghana. And I'm working with them to bring them into the loop of don't keep your cash under your bed anymore.
Oh my goodness, that bank would love you. Man, you're bringing a whole thousands worth of business.
That's the whole idea. And
thousands of business owners, maybe millions of business owners you're bringing to them.
It also helps.
Love you.
It also helps the farmers, because we are tired of carrying this cash in town left and right. You hear about some people being robbed and all of that. And all of this is data that you can find online. There was a time that there was a high rate of crime within these farming communities, because they knew after the farming or the market day, people have cash. So you have to push these technologies, and you have to, again, understand this is a generational and systemic way of doing things. So it's not easy to convince someone. For a long time. We sometimes forget the fact that in the last 20 years, a lot has happened. With technology. A lot has happened with technology. And
well, even the last 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Even the last 5 years. So imagine someone in their 60s, or that's lived in the village their whole life. It's still not gotten to them yet. They are still used to, keeping the money in a pouch somewhere and all of that. So,
well, that's a huge thing that you're doing, being able to get the unbanked banked. Yeah. Enabling them to get bank accounts, because once a bank sees that there's regular money that's going to be coming in from your business, then they're more likely to say, yeah, let's give them a bank account.
Yeah. And
so you're causing a revolution in the banking industry.
I I keep telling my team that we are not going to be the solution, the final solution. We are going to create the substrate or contribute to creating the substrate upon which other generations are going to solve the problem. Because the problem is so huge that I wouldn't want to say that, yes, we are the ones causing the revolution as per se, but we are the ones that would like to, contribute to whatever substrate upon which the solution is being built.
Okay.
So that later on, I do my part. Some guy from somewhere who's going to be born or hasn't maybe been born yet comes to see, and that's why I would like to document my work and leave it for posterity's sake, so that someone else can come and look at it and say, I want to build on this. What is the same way I read a research in India, experimented in Sierra Leone. Someone will also be able to take my work and say, hey, let me build on what this guy did. Hopefully I'm alive to pick out the person's call.
Okay. Can I ask how long your business has been going?
Yeah, 2017.
Okay.
That's Maxwell Investments Group.
So that's about 7 years.
That's about 7 years.
Okay. What's the most exhilarating parts of your business? What gets you most excited?
Sheer numbers, frankly, the scale of it. It's I have a lot of weekly meetings with my team. We have a lot of people on the field, right? But I told you it's a close group of friends. So we have a lot of talks and we have a lot of things. We have even something called the MIG way. It's printed. I have to send you a picture of it again for this. It's printed largely in the office. You can read it from far away. We follow certain rules, and one of it is that we don't want to scream in a vacuum, like we don't want to wink. I keep telling them that doing what we do without the impact is going to be like winking at a girl in the dark. No matter how nice your wink is, the girl's not going to see it. The impact is not going to be had. So you have to remember that we are trading, but if you trade without making that impact, and yeah, I've made it back, traded, gone. What's the point? What's the point of your existence? And I know people have kids, family to feed. That might be their point, which is why I promised my team that we have to do good and make a buck, because I want to ensure that everybody's doing good. For me, the most exhilarating part is that the sheer scale we've reached from leaving the financial services, because I was working before that. Maxwell Investment Group had to transform. There was a Maxwell Investment before the group. So the group is just the excuse we gave to just divest from the financial services.
Yes.
So it's reaching that scale, the scale we told ourselves that day in that office that, listen, let's fill this gap in this sector. And I won't say we filled it, but I like my job. I love waking up to do what I do right now.
Okay. That's brilliant. Okay, let's go back a bit then. Rewind. Tell us about your childhood and your education. And when you were younger, what kind of career ambitions were you aiming for?
When I was younger, I used to read a lot. So I'm actually a science student. Can you believe that?
Okay, yeah.
I did science all the way up, like science. So my mom was insistent on me being a medical doctor. So I was a geek. And I grew up in a church. I grew up with a lot of I was the chaplaincy prefect in my high school. So I've always been with my books. I've always been, being by myself, either praying or reading or meditating or playing with my sisters. I say that in contrast to what I advise the young ones to do now, which is, network, get out there. Don't be, just in your own corner. Because I did that for a long time, way into my early 20s. I was still kind of like just by myself, just reading. Because but there are some good parts to it as well, because it gave me perspectives that my peers didn't have. That's what reading does.
That's right.
Reading gives you, I see the stack of books behind you. It gives you different perspectives. So
absolutely,
when you see someone that you can tell if the person is having a multiple view on an issue than a, than a tunnel, like just one view on something.
Absolutely.
That's what my childhood did for me. That's why when medical school, I always knew I was going to become a medical doctor. So after that, that's what's in Ghana. Again, it's a cultural thing. Back then, medical doctor was like the biggest. So if your family can afford it, you have to be a medical doctor. So I have to be a medical doctor.
Oh, wow. So
That
you
year,
are a medical doctor then?
oh,
Oh,
there's a twist. There's a twist. I didn't make the cut in the first year. And then I also realized that I kind of like business. Unfortunately for my mom, her plan had backfired because I had helped her in her business and I had gotten a taste of business. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm better at this one. And guess what? I didn't make the cut for this one. So I prefer to stay on business. Oh, it became a big issue.
oh, really?
But my mom loves me. I'm the only boy, so I kind of played on that and got her blessing to come to London School of Business and Finance, where I was able to actually hone in on some concepts that I'm even still using now. So my doctorate is in it's a DBA, doctorate in business administration.
Oh,
But
good for you. So you can say to my mum, I did get that doctor name. Yeah, it might not be medical, but I got it.
Yeah.
Got your PhD. Good for you, mate.
Yeah. So that's my life with respect to academics was just like a 360 a 180 that shocked my whole family because all along we knew I was going to become a medical doctor. So no, now when they talk about me like as a businessman, it's still weird for them. Like no one thought I would, be a businessman.
Really?
It's in our. I know Nigeria has that, but in Ghana it was a huge thing. It's a huge thing back then in the early 2000s. You have to become a medical doctor. They pick a medical doctor in the family. You are a medical doctor, and you are a medical doctor. And
oh, okay.
I was the appointed medical doctor, and I had to make sure that I became it.
Okay, okay. So let's broaden this a bit now. Considering what you're doing, it seems to me that you have some economic ideas for a country, because I tell you, the governments of the countries you're working with must think you're the best thing since sliced bread. They must love what you're doing because it's great for their bottom line. Their exports, the figures are going up, and you are harnessing the power of the work of the people to actually raise a GDP. So they must love you. Am I
right? I love my company because I know he's doing all the things that you just said. And I try to keep my team humble by saying we are not the biggest fish in the sea. And I've also been able to understand that politics is not one-dimensional, where if you are doing good, then you are the guy. It's much more complicated than that. So I think the closest I've ever been to anything government is that I'm an honorary creator for the Ghana National Museum. And that was because when I was in school, learning to business and finance, I sell art on the side. And
really?
so when I got to Ghana, I still got into I was going to the village, so you see some crazy cool talents. I get really excited when I think about this. Some guys in the village, they're doing some Banksy level paintings, right? And I just want to find a way to help with that. And so because I knew the Ghana National Museum, I also sent you the letter. You have to export through them. So one way that I help the community as well is that I will take some of the artifacts and get a bigger market. You and I both know that if there's an artifact, let's say this phone, and it's an artifact, 20 cedis and $20 are totally different values. The value is not in Ghana. The value is in those trillion-dollar economies or sectors outside of Africa. That's what we need to tap into. So what I try to do is try to be the connect between them and that economy or that sector
Fantastic.
and tap into it for them. So if you read my appointment letter as an honorary creator, it wasn't about art, it was about revenue generation for both for the ministry, for the museum, for the artisans, for them. That's my job. And it doesn't take me away from what I'm doing now because I go to the villages anyway. So I meet artists all around, and the chiefs love me because I don't speak as if I'm coming to trade. No, I speak. Listen, chief, I'm about to put X amount of millions into your community. Okay. You tell your people how you want to tell them to get whatever you need to, you are the leader of the community. Just let them understand that trading with an indigenous is a much bigger thing. And I have a reputation for this. Look me up. And anybody that looks me up with the union, with the community, will tell you we have integrity, we pay on time, we will never take your money. Those things that, kind of have made the sector a little bit better. We are known to not be that, and that integrity is core to the success stories of Maxwell Investments Group. We will pay you on time. Today we got before they got offloaded, we had paid for about 2 of them so that the guy has money to go and bring another one. That kind of quick understanding of their circumstances also allows us at this stage we are in. And I'm saying at this stage because I am praying that the things we put in place when we were starting out will continue to still stay true when we become, because MIG is about 10% of its potential. The potential is huge. We can do so much more than we're doing now.
Well, you've mentioned one of my favorite commodities, art.
Yeah.
We have set up a website called icabart.org. It stands for In Celebration of Black Art. And it was simply about recognizing the talent that's in the Black community, wherever they are around the world. And their artwork is sometimes not sold or sold for peanuts. And we thought, well, hold on, something's not quite right here.
Exactly, my sister, exactly. They are Andy Warhols and Banksy's walking around there,
Yeah. So that's another conversation we need to have, okay?
We really do.
That's brilliant. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. So that's another database that you should be building up then, isn't it? The artists.
We actually have that. We are. In fact, we are permitted now. We have permission now to build on the grounds of the Ghana National Museum, which is where Kamala Harris came to when he came to Ghana. For the Maxwell Arts and Tourism Hub, an entirely a center dedicated. Again, why are you making me see all of this? Nobody knows.
I'm coming to Ghana to see this. I want to see it. When you built it, tell me. I'm coming.
When I send the pictures, you see, it's still be. I think I commissioned the building about 2 months ago, so it should be done by the time I go back to Ghana. Like it's that we are that passionate about it, about art, because we think community, it can change the whole community. You go to a community and all they do is weave, and they do some fantastic weaves. You go to another community and all they do is paint. They do some fantastic paints. You go to another community and all they do is maybe do these arts and crafts, and they're so good. And you go on eBay and Amazon and Etsy, and you realize these things are being sold for about $35, and that's a lot of money in Ghana.
Yeah.
The community, the cost of living. So what we're trying to do after building the Maxwell Arts and Tourism Hub is to actually kind of, I hope to commission it next year, is to be that branch. And whilst we build on a database, we would luckily for me, again, because I sell art when I was in school, we have a few friends in a few museums that we would form strong partnerships with and do.
That sounds fantastic. So it sounds to me that what you're doing in the agriculture, the farming world, you can also be doing in the artwork. Well, you are doing it. That's fantastic.
It's what we call in Ghana a sweet mistake, because we did not know that Agric was gonna be that sweet, because they were telling me, oh, you made a mistake, Maxwell. You should do what you know what to do best. You are good at financial modeling. Just because I was doing some pretty great work when I went to Ghana. And then suddenly I saw what was coming and I saw what wasn't possible, because I wasn't the impact I wanted, I wasn't going to get it, and I knew it. Sometimes, self-assessment is one of the best things you can do to yourself. Know what you can do, what you can't do. What we thought we were going to do, we wouldn't have been able to achieve it. But with agriculture now, see how the art has come in. Now we are about to have a micro insurance. We are just in the process of being able to get the license. We are now with the Microcredit Association of Ghana, so we are back even into the finance game again.
Okay, so you were able to lend farmers money.
Exactly. And I don't even have to use my money. Guess whose money? The banks.
Yeah.
Because now the bank has also, through our advocacy, understood farmers the more, and it's saying, listen, we need to go a step closer to that informal sector because it is huge, and we shouldn't just leave it for the big guys who come and put a lot of money into the account. Why don't you then go to the small guys and small amounts of money and deal with them on a one-on-one basis? So I asked for sponsorship for my Entrepreneurial campus store. We have an initiative called Entrepreneurial. It's basically what it says. It brings out the Entrepreneurial. And we brought 7 universities from all across Ghana. And on that day, we opened 2,000 entrepreneurship accounts.
Oh, wow.
For student entrepreneurs. And
wow.
Other conferences, our last business forum was titled The Role of Financial Literacy in Post-Retirement Financial Security, because we realized again that farmers are retiring and not knowing what to do, So when you go at the problem head on, something happens. Something magical always happens when you go for impact first. I think it's cosmic, frankly. It's crazy. If you chase the money without the impact, you get what the Excel tells. But if you go for the impact and say, how do I get this impact using this sustainable model? Somehow some magic happens, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get tired of this feeling.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask about your organization, Africa School of Entrepreneurs. Africa SOE, you call it. Yeah? Tell us about it.
So when you in 2017 again, that same time, can you imagine? From 2017, all I was doing was just kind of like building the groundwork for this. And our first event was just this year. And
oh, was it 2024?
That was the students that came from 7 universities, and we filled the Great Hall of Kwame Nkrumah.
Oh, right. Wow.
The whole idea was that we will not be able, if we don't build an ecosystem, it won't work.
Okay.
We can't do it as a group of friends who's built a company and is rich. No. Everybody needs to be rich.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So
not every rich person thinks like that, though. They're quite happy being rich on their own.
I watched an interview of Jeff Bezos, and he's like, my company is worth $1 trillion, and I own only 16%. So if I'm worth 160 billion, you should understand that I've made 840 billion for other people. That concept of communal wealth needs to be impacted into our young ones from now, because they all want to be Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, forgetting about the fact that these guys are making millionaires on the way. That's how they are getting. That's how they are millionaires, because they are making millionaires on the way. So from the beginning, this is also one of the MIG concepts, which is community.
Yeah.
We have to build a community. So what value are we bringing to the community? We are entrepreneurs. We know what we are doing. Why don't we start impacting that knowledge into other people? It has led to us doing things like we had a training with Jospon Group. Jospon Industries is technically one of the biggest industries in Ghana. We had a training session with them with KNUST and on supply chain training, and we gave micro credentials. It was attended by about 4 embassies, dozens of our clientele, children of the farmers. We got calls from KNUST saying people are using the certificates to seek for jobs in warehousing and logistics and all of that. So that training was what made us launch even the website of Africa School of Entrepreneurship. Because we realized that, okay, the farmer is much more appreciative if his child is coming to University of Ghana, 300 kilometers or 300 miles away from where he lives, and you give his child a place to sleep until he figures out his stay, because I even did the same thing when I came to London School of Business and Finance. I had to figure out a hotel to stay at for like a week or two before I sorted out my accommodation. Do that for a farmer, he's much more appreciative than to give him like an increase in price, like maybe 1,000 Ghana cedi increase in revenue. So they were thinking about their children more. So then we're like, oh, that's another way that we can present value to the community. Okay, micro credentials. We have no interest in being a university. What we do is give micro credentials, training, mentorship, which I benefited a lot from mentors. You are mentoring a lot of people by this platform. A lot of people watching this channel are going to learn a lot of things. And so that's what Africa School of Entrepreneurship tries to do. It tries to give people what we knew that we would have been better off getting in the beginning, which is meeting and conferencing and correspondence. So on stage, at this Entrepreneurial campus store, what we call the campus store, was the head of corporate banking to GCB and head of investor relations and special partnerships. They are telling you directly how to work with the bank. I wish I got that when I came to Ghana.
Yeah.
But we present that to people, and because we know that when you present value comes back to you. And now our WhatsApp groups are buzzing. Are buzzing with students that are saying, when is the next one? I love my account. How do I use it? I have this idea. Can you fund it? And I know I'll never have enough money to do what I said I was going to do, which is Africa, I guess, financial institution, blah, blah, blah. You come out of school with all these theories and life has to humble you a little bit. So that's why we like working with the bank, because you handhold and send them to the bank. The bank has endless, So I will not be as arrogant to feel that I will be able to solve all the problems for everybody. But through partnership, building community and an ecosystem that's thriving, you will be able to, do exactly what we set out to do in the beginning. Do good and make a buck.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you were looking for mentors for this Africa SOE School of Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we've started onboarding a couple mentors. Luckily, we've had some pretty good people on board so far. Some stuff from Boeing. I think the highest profile one will be from Boeing. We've had some from MTN, some from University of Ghana, business school. Actually, I'll send you the link. You should join. You should be a mentor.
I think yeah, you have sent me the link already.
I've already
just waiting to have this conversation. But are you looking for mentors from around the world?
Exactly.
Okay.
We are looking for mentors around the world, and that's why we've still not published the mentor spotlight. But I'm sure after this, by the time this one goes live, the mentor spotlight will be live. It's because you have a perception to art that the student in Ghana needs.
Okay.
But to complement it, the art connoisseur in the community has information that the artisan already has. It is you that can say, hey, listen, Amazon is there, okay? Come through my art, institution or my art organization, and this is how to view art as a way to unlock value.
Yeah.
What if I put a kente here, and which is what we're going to do next year with the Maxwell Art and Tourism Hub. If I put a kente strand here, right? This jacket, what value have I conferred upon it? What's the value of our heritage? How do you quantify that? Art connoisseur, I sell maize, I sell soya bean. You will be able to help and guide someone to that answer better than I ever will. So
okay. I wouldn't elevate myself and call myself an art connoisseur. Well, I'm just a lay person who admires art. I visited Rome many years ago, saw the beautiful artwork in the Vatican and various other museums and so on. I thought, wouldn't it be lovely to have a place like this that showcased Black art?
Yeah.
And that's what made me set up ICABAR, because I thought, you know what, there's some amazing art that's going around the world that's created by Black people, but it's not fully recognized yet. I mean, since Basquiat, there hasn't been someone as big as him. Although I've got to say, there are some American artists who are doing fantastically well.
Yep.
And we have documented some of that on the website. But connoisseur, that's a bit too highfalutin for me. I would feel like an imposter if I said that. But I do admire art, and I do want to continue to connect artists and buyers.
Yeah. So,
and people who just admire art, you know.
And it's why we need mentors from around the world, because of the difference in perspective.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I think I would be different if I hadn't traveled, you know, if I weren't well traveled. Let me put it that way. It adds a certain element to your character and your perspective, that when you speak with those that now look at us and say, Dr. Maxwell, tell me how to do this, you realize that there's this knowledge gap, that if only they were to pick what's on the other side of the world. And that is what I expect the mentorship to do. Because to me, people have been able to do that for me, where I saw your face when I said MIG was 7 years. You were like, oh, okay. I'm sure you expected me to say it was 20 years. People have been able to say,
no, because I see how young you are. I knew it wasn't 20 years.
I have gray hairs, Don. I have gray hairs. I have a lot of gray. I'm seeing some gray hairs now that's shocking me. Recently, I saw like 2 here. I saw another 3 here. So I might look young, but trust me, I have some mileage. So
well, I must say to the audience that the first time we spoke face to face, I was actually quite surprised, because I was expecting you to be about 20 years older.
That's why I have my old man suit on today. This is my old man suit.
Your pictures sort of make you look older. So when I saw, I thought, who is this young man here? You know,
it's intentional. There's a lot of ageism in Africa. You know, you have to be in Africa. You're a child, even if you're in your 40s. Like,
okay,
we've had to overcome some barriers. That it's why I'm writing my book. It's why I want to write about.
I was going to ask you if you're doing that. Well done.
I want to write about 5-6 books before the end of the decade, and also because I want to pursue a PhD next year, and during that journey, it would open up a lot of research and a lot of innovation, a lot of stories that I would want to gain for posterity's sake, document. Because
so this is another PhD.
Yeah. I just finished another MBA with York St. John's. I want to get a PhD at York St. John's again, because they've been so good. And why I got the MBA, this MBA, I'll be graduating in November actually, is because it's in thank you. It's in leadership and management. I've realized I'm hiring people who are smarter than me. It's true. The people that work for me are now
it worked for Richard Branson, you know. That's what he said he did.
They are so sharp. Mr. Mankwai is like, oh my God. I used to think I was a good financial modeler, but Jesus Christ, Mr. Mankwai is like, oh, off the charts. So I'm working with people that are so sharp. I think what I got from this MBA is the documented, standardized ways that you could lead and manage a proper team. That's what I wanted to learn. And I have to thank, you know, Dr. David and the rest, my supervisors, because they knew from the beginning, but that this is what I wanted to do. And if you have an MBA in leadership and management, but your dissertation is AI in the agricultural supply chain in Ghana, it doesn't match.
Wow.
So it's like, why are you doing a course in leadership management and your dissertation is in this field? And we had a little bit of a spat about it on the call, but eventually I still did a dissertation in the applications of AI in the Ghana agricultural supply chains, which I'll tell you.
Like you need to publish that book.
Yeah, so I would it's about right now I'm about 50,000 words. I would up it up and then I'll publish it as the first book. And that is what I mean by contributing to the substrate, because that book, see, the research we couldn't even get a lot of literary. There's this gap of data in Africa, and I won't just say Ghana, that we need to fill. And we need to fill it not with just by being academics. The academics need to learn how to let the indigenous give that information and then let's publish it. Because you cannot take a system, a Western system, and then come to move somewhere where I'm sure, I mean, I'm careful how I speak about these communities because I respect them a lot. But you just cannot port certain things to certain places and expect them to work. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So how then do you work with the people? This is why I read a lot of research about the Indian communities, because they have done that. And that is why suddenly, I don't know if you realize, suddenly, India is having this, I mean, they have their problems, don't get me wrong, they have their issues, but they are having this burst of development that is shocking the whole world. Because India is now leading a lot of the, of the tech race. And now engineers, almost every household has an engineer now. I think I read that statistic recently. Look at all the tech, the CEOs of
they're all Indians, absolutely. CEOs of giant tech companies.
Because they started to understand their people and accept them for who they are. India has some pretty poor communities and some pretty rich people. So you have to understand the mix. You don't need to ignore one and just showcase the other one.
Yeah, that's true.
Ghana needs to do the same. Ghana needs to say, listen, this is how my people are, and this is how we have to communicate to them. And then we have to, and that is why I have stopped trying to do certain things with my current stakeholders and move to their children. Because they will tell you clearly, listen, I'm an old man. This is not going to work on me, Maxwell. Just stop it. Sometimes they tell you clearly, just stop worrying me, and I'm an old man. This is how I'm going to do it. And then you start being a bother by hitting on, certain point. But because the next generation that we invest the business is now young, is now in university, is now, speaks fluent English, now, literate, that's the end. That's the end to community, impact. Because he's going to come back from school and he's going to be in charge of the farm.
Yeah.
He's going to come back from school, and that farm money is what put him through school. So he has to make sure that there's continuation.
Yeah, yeah.
And so whatever you put in his head, you are basically putting it in his father's head. He just doesn't know yet because they all contribute to the family business.
Fantastic.
And somehow when they talk to their parents, they listen to me. I mean, like the UK guy that came back to Ghana, or the Ghanaian that went to school in the UK came back to Ghana, looks like me, dresses like me. You are more likely to listen to your child than to listen to me. So that's why the Africa School of Entrepreneurship has suddenly become a very core and important part of what we're going to do, because our conferences, our fora, our funding initiatives are all going to be geared towards the community impact.
Do you have a gender balance there? So the boys and girls evenly balanced, or is it mostly boys?
I am biased towards well, I have 3 sisters and a mom. I always tell people when they come to my office and I see a lot of females, because I keep telling them, listen, I have 3 sisters and a mom. So even in my household, there wasn't a balance of males and females.
Oh, yeah, so, a lot of sisters, yeah.
I have 3 sisters. So it's like and also this was also kind of validated when I started to raise funding, and every single form was trying to affect the youth and women. Then you remember the research I said I read in the of the Indian community, that microfinance they gave to only women, and there was less.
Yeah.
Everything points that the woman is the center and the core of the family. That one, there's literally work all over the world that will be able to, for developing and for developing countries, that will tell you that if you invest in a woman, it pays back 1,000-fold. That affects the man as well. So what we try to do is, especially for, let's say, the share nut supply chain, it's almost all women, because they have to go and pick. Share nuts is a tree that doesn't, you don't kind of like grow it. It just blooms every single year once it gets to a certain stage. So the women are the ones that pick it, process it. My share nut supply chain is one of my favorites because it's one where we've optimized it, including creating our organic share product, which is a processed share, organic, USDA certified, vegan.
Okay.
vegan and organic shea butter, and that whole supply chain from picking to everything that happens. I can say 99% women, and I'm proud of that. Very proud.
Oh, you're doing a great job. Honestly, it's fantastic. So, how can we stop the drain of manpower? People risking their lives to cross in boats in the Mediterranean to head to Europe. And England is sometimes an endpoint destination. For others, it's France. For others, it's Germany.
Yeah.
Rome, Italy.
That's a problem. That's a problem. On 8 p.m. on the evening news, Ghana's Joy News, I have a segment on the evening news called Entrepreneurial from the African School of Entrepreneurship. In the Business and Financial Times every Monday. It's always on my LinkedIn. I write on economic topics as well. And then once a while, I hope I arrange or I host online forums on Google Meet, sometimes Zoom, for students and young people to come and listen, because that problem is because they have tried and not been able to crack the code. For the last 3 sessions, and I'm speaking slowly because before I attempted to contribute to the solution, because I always don't think I'm the solution. To contribute to the solution, we had to have an idea of how to do it. So what we are doing now is teaching how to pitch. And give me just 60 seconds. Hello, Don, how are you doing? My company does, for the purposes of this pitch, tens of millions of Ghana cedis or hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis every single year in revenue. Agriculture is very important for our sector, and ever since COVID, every country is talking about food security and how important it is. So therefore, our business is actually going to be needed for a very long time. I need X amount of money to increase my operations, and what it will do for me is that I'll be able to employ more people, have more community impact. And for you, I will be able to give you an interest rate that is higher than the Ghana reference rate. Are you interested? See, 5 things. I told you something wow first about my business to get your attention. I do hundreds of millions of revenue in a year. That is a wow statement. I don't need to explain it. That's not the point. Wow statement. Then you reinforce it with the macroeconomic sector, because if I am selling staple pins in my small corner somewhere and I'm even making money, it might still crash. Now, big businesses crash. You need to tell the investor, show that the macroeconomic sector reinforces what you're doing. Therefore, you will be relevant for a while. Then go straight to what you want. I want you to give me X amount of money. I want you to give me this equipment. I want you to give me that. After that, say what's in it for you, because investors we all know you want something for yourself. So state what you. So maybe I want to, help the community, or I want to be able to pay my workers more. I want to employ more people. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then say what's in it for them as well. It's a simple 5-step process. Why are we teaching students how to do this? Because they go to the bank and they say, hello, my name is this, and I went to this school and I did that, and they go round and round and round and round and round and round and round. So the exodus is from frustration. We've checked, we've spoken to them, and we've realized a lot of them are frustrated. They've tried everything and they're like, oh, nothing works. Africa sucks. But if they just had the know-how to just get something going for themselves, then they will have a stake in the soil. That's how we do it.
Okay.
So now we are going to guide them. And that's why GCB, I will forever thank Mr. Sam Edu, Linus Kumi, Sinaka Mikati, all these high-ranking people, head of departments and their board, for coming in on this initiative of mine, because I don't know, I'm just thankful. I look at the impact it could have if I'm able to handhold students from being a retail banker to a small business, because you're able to pitch very well and get a small loan, start a business, and then to go from that SME to maybe a corporation to corporate banking, where you can ask for extra funding to do something. When you have a stake in the land, you don't leave.
Yeah.
You leave when you think you have nothing to lose. So that's what we are trying to do. So the first stage we are in now is pitching and creating entrepreneurship accounts easily. Entrepreneurship accounts are what we are trying to negotiate with the bank, so they have as little charges on account as possible. They're kids, they don't have enough money to be paying all these charges here and there. So we negotiate for lower charges. They open the accounts and they start running the account. So that teaching things like, listen, the bank doesn't know you. Create a relationship with the bank, pitch your business, pitch your idea. And luckily the bank is saying, we know nothing is risk-free. I mean, go on my YouTube and you see videos of that event. And I was just like, oh, it touched me. For a head of corporate banking to say, listen, kids, we know no idea is 100% perfect. Just come and pitch. I mean, that's what you call the revolution. That is, they are the ones doing it right there. They're the ones allowing it to happen. They could have blocked me. They could have said, hey, young guy, sit somewhere, But they are the ones that are facilitating these things. That's why I keep saying I'm thankful for the people that God has somehow brought around me, because they are just believers. Because the things I say are not they're here yet. So someone has to believe in it before we bring it to existence. So I think the problem is that they don't have a stake, and I'll say it in the way that I think of it. They don't have a stake in the soil. I mean, I'm here, but I'll have to go back because I have a company in Ghana, So if you don't have a stake in the soil, then you feel no obligation. You feel for the
cost. I understand. Yeah. But I think it's important that people like yourselves are showing a different way, showing how it's possible to earn money as an entrepreneur in your country. You also talk about the value of reading, the value of education.
Like that.
And maybe the message will get out there at some point, because there are too many people on these boats who are actually dying in the sea. Some are probably dying in the desert before they even get to the sea, but that's not even being reported,
Exactly. We all don't know what's happening, but I like that statement you said, the ability to earn money as an entrepreneur, because everybody think entrepreneurs are rich. Once you're an entrepreneur, you have money. Oh no, entrepreneur is one of the
case.
Sometimes
they're the poorest.
Exactly, and a lot of them are in debt. So you have to give them the ability to be self-sustainable, and that is what we're trying to do, and that is where the hope is going to come from. And after the hope will come, I'm not leaving. I know how to pitch now. And you should see when we go through the online session and we refine one person's pitch for like 200 people to hear. He's like, oh my God. Because suddenly it's like their own companies pitched better to themselves and by themselves to themselves. They become believers in their own dream even more. Because the pitch I gave you was less than 60 seconds. And I didn't tell you about my connections to any union and anything, but you definitely say you want another meeting with me after hearing that.
I think we'll have to play that bit on the loop, yeah? That's brilliant. I tell you what, you should be teaching some of those courses online for the rest of us around the world. I tell you.
I like that I like my job, I like that my team likes their job. I like that we like what we are doing. It's exactly what we wanted to do in the beginning, and the impact is more than what we thought, or it's not what I wouldn't say that it's exactly what we planned, but the journey is what we really thought it would be, which is we need to have fun on the way. It's not gonna be easy, but it needs to be something that we enjoy doing. And what we enjoy is the whole, oh my God, I didn't know I could pitch my business like this. Those moments stick with you as a human being, as a member of the human species first. Impact another human being like that is a different thing altogether. And then you come from as a Ghanaian to another Ghanaian, and as an African to another African, and then it starts to build up from there. So yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to finish off by asking, how's your mum? Because you went over to Ghana because she was ill. How is she now?
I still feel my mom is around. She unfortunately passed. Cancer is cancer is a very stubborn. Those that I've dealt with it, we keep discussing the ups and downs of cancer, but I speak of her as if she's around because again, I was the only boy and my mom and I are very close. So I still kind of like I have mourned her, but I still feel her around.
Okay. But she lived to see your business start, did she?
Oh yes. My mom is my biggest supporter. Can you imagine? See, no matter how much money you have in the beginning, you are going to cap it off at some point to get to where I've gotten to. So we thought we had money. even when we built our 3-story building, the warehouse down there, we thought, okay, how many space, what space? We really made it less than 100 square meters. We never thought in our lives that we'll be doing 20, 30 million kilos. So we capped very quickly. And I remember drivers, cross-country drivers are stubborn. So drivers will come and, our invoices have not been processed because all our money is in the field and all our money is with like one of our off-takers. And my mom will hear trucks are parked in front of our building. And this was like a year or two into the business. And I built next to her, her business as well. So I'm very close to my mom. So I remember my mom will come and say, then I'm here. It means, what do you need? What do you people need? And I'm like, man, don't disgrace me. Your mom can come and build I'm like, man, it's okay. Go away, please. So my mom has been my biggest advocate ever. Like she's been my biggest advocate. So she's like, you should have been a medical doctor. At the same time, like, this has to work. Okay, what do you need? And then later on, you should have been a medical doctor. I wanted to become a medical, a typical African mom, right?
Yeah,
we have a very fantastic relationship, and I'm a mama's boy. I'm a proud mama's boy.
I'm sorry she's no longer with us. Any of your other family involved with the business?
The family is involved in the family. I come from a family of industry, so they are involved in the other family business. But this business is with yes, I had my cousin at a point. My sister was also on board at a point. But at this stage where it's reached, it got very tough. Every business gets to that stage.
Yeah, you get times like that. Yeah.
So that's when you have to say, I would prefer if we did this with a squad, where the squad is like people that you go down in a debt with, because we can go to the northern region. The northern region is like, imagine like rural Ghana.
Yeah.
Be there for weeks on end, talking to people who talk to us like we are nobodies. I'm being frank with you. A farmer is a king in his village. Yo, they are kings. You go there and they decide. So who are you coming to tell him how to do business, or that you want to, I learned
you want to buy his product, so he's got to listen to you.
He's the hottest commodity. I'm not the only buyer. I might be the best buyer.
Excuse me.
Exactly. He is like hot. He is like yo, they have a level of ego that you would never imagine. So until they get cheated by the next guy, they are like being sweet talked and everything. So I have to come in and come like, listen, don't do this. Stick to the union rules. Sell to me. Listen to this guy. Talk to this guy about me. Everything's gonna go well. And then it's come full circle. So now they come to me instead of me going to them, because the hard work has been done. But I learned that in Burkina Faso, during COVID, when COVID reinforced that we were in the right direction, because COVID put food security and agriculture in everybody's like mind at that point.
Yeah.
So what I learned to Burkina Faso was, I was telling someone how much money I brought, as in I was ready to buy. And he said, you have all the money, but what if nobody wants to sell to you? See, there are moments in your life that kind of like it hits you.
Yeah.
And like, this guy is actually right. If nobody wants to sell to you, it doesn't matter your bank balance. So customer experience, I had taught my team in many different ways how to do that, but the guy just in the shots, one quick, I think he was even talking back at me at that point. I mean, I remember the guy. It was like, you think you have money, but what if nobody sells to you? It's stuck with me. It's stuck with me, which means that you have to be farmer-centric. The farmer is the most important person.
So how was your French in Burkina Faso?
Oh, on pair.
You had a translator then, yeah?
Je parle français un peu.
Okay.
I speak small. That's what it means.
A little. Oh, dear.
So, yeah. But see, That's what I'm saying. You don't speak French, you enter Burkina Faso to
I
buy.
know there might be prejudice because you don't speak French, isn't it?
Oh, yo, it's not been hard. I mean, it's not been easy at all. It's been hard. It's been hard, but that's what we signed up for. We didn't sign up for the destination had to be cancelled out from the beginning. We are not revolutionaries. We are not going to be the Nelson Mandela. So we had to tell ourselves from the beginning so that if you cancel out the destination and then you cancel out the beginning as well, because we started out as scientists and I'm signing most often by scientists. Because most of my friends, because I study science up to the university stage, like in the science, field. What's left after the beginning and end is the journey. So that's why we're enjoying the journey. It's why the journey is so important for us. Because if the destination is that we want to impact in a way that we know will not be conclusive to cancel out poverty in the whole of Africa, but will help your fellow man. Your fellow man starts from that one person I bought that maize from some 7-8 years ago, and now I am the lead and official business advisor to Ghana's biggest agricultural trade union. That's how it starts when you cancel out. I want to do it. I want to make $1 million. That would have been a poor choice.
Yeah. But you know what? You know what I think? You mentioned Mandela, but I think what you're doing is as important as what Mandela did.
But you're doing Mandela stuff.
But you're taking it further. You're actually helping millions of families. You're helping millions of families to earn, to sell their produce. You're helping them to have better business practices.
I'm going to call you next time I'm going to call the bank to tell them, yo, don't tell them what I'm doing.
That's fine. I'll be here at the end of the phone. Just tell me when. It's as important, seriously.
It is.
It's just that maybe the world doesn't know it yet, but you're doing what a lot of governments should do, but maybe the vehicles that they use are too cumbersome and there are too many people that they'll have to try and persuade in order to do what you're doing. This is why enterprise sometimes works more efficiently.
Boom. Another line that should be on a t-shirt. You are giving me, I'm learning from you right now on this call, because you are summarizing some of the things we say in so many words. And enterprise, as you've said it, can change entire countries.
Absolutely.
Because what, for instance, we do to communities or with communities, if we were to go through the government channels, we would have had so many loops.
I know. And so many people you'd have to bribe along the way. And so many loopholes that you'd have to jump through.
There was
and somebody would lose the paperwork in their office.
There was a disconnect in the line. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
But you are very right. Listen, enterprise anybody that reads my website comes to me and I will know whether you read my website or not. And that's how I know that you've done research into what we're doing, because we took away all the buzzwords and then we wrote a manifesto.
Yeah.
Everything on our website is from our heads. We locked ourselves in my house for days, ordering takeout, deciding on what to do. So that information on our website, where we define what an impact product is, and say that what Africa needs, we put the statistics over there. 500 million people are in abject poverty. We define what persons of concern are, and we even included persons of concern are people that are doing the right thing, are working, but are growing poorer and poorer each day, by no fault of theirs. It should also be added to people of concern. Refugees, and not just those in abject poverty, because if you don't add them now, they will get there eventually. So you are growing poorer and poorer each day by just living your life and working, which is happening to tens of millions of people in Africa. You are a person of concern, and you are who we target.
Not just in Africa either. Seriously.
I keep telling them, but see, everybody thinks they're going to jump on that boat, come here, and suddenly become a millionaire.
It's not going to happen. 1 in a million, maybe.
Thank you. And that is what I think those that trade in those lies tell them. They show them 1 in a million, and then everybody's thinking, I'm going to be that. one in a million. But it doesn't work like that. And I really appreciate us having this correspondence, because frankly, having Discord with someone that understands, or let me say the way that we say it at MIG, we say being understood is an underrated pleasure. And just saying even enterprise can change a country, it's energized me, because we know what happens when Seidu, who trades with us, had a capital of, let's say, 20,000 Ghana cedis, which right now is like roughly like $1,500, right? Not much. And he's making it, and we are telling trade, we are trying to show him, say, take life insurance, take health insurance, take this, take that, take goods in transit insurance. Make sure you don't sell your goods to anybody. If you sell to us, you are safe. Sell to anybody and your money gets lost, that's your own problem. Don't listen to, like we train them, and then say suddenly, get enough money to pay for the dowry for a kid. I'm sorry, for a wife, has kids. We've seen people grow with us like that. And we've seen how they are there, and when they come to see us in Accra, in our office, they receive calls from family members. Yes, I'm busy, I'll call you back. Yeah, I'll send you the money. We know they are now feeding their families and extended families because of their enterprise. And that wasn't by a government program. That was by, I wouldn't even say it's a favor to them. We literally traded with them in a very fair way. That's why whenever anybody asks me what the secret of MIG is, we are just nice. We are just smiling and fair, and we think of just volumes and making small margins and budgets, large volumes. And that's all we just do and want to do. And when we find something that plugs into the agri, we just take that rubber, we make sure that it comes back to the agri, like the Maxwell Arts and Tourism Hub, it comes back to agri. The WellMax microcredit comes back to agri. WellMax micro insurance, which is an inclusivity insurance. Don't forget, Ghana doesn't have inclusivity insurance. When the regulator called me, they came to my conference on the role of financial literacy for post-retirement financial security. I invited the regulator, the National Insurance Commission, to come and give a speech. And they came and they are like, just like you said, young man, we've never heard of you. How come? Here, come. We have this new insurance called inclusivity insurance, and it's for the marginalized in society, and want you to be one of the people that have it. Yeah. It was natural. It was organic. And I think about insurance. So I had to call people like, that's what I like about the UK. Your phone can be insured, your car is insured, your house is insured, everything's insured, your kids are insured, everything's insured. But Ghana, insurance penetration is very low. So I've always said, get insurance, but I am not an insurance connoisseur. So then I now have to surround myself with people that know more than me in insurance, which is one I like the course. Why I took that course in at York St. John's University. It was supposed to make me a better manager. Yeah. Of talent and people. So I've taken a lot of things from this call, even talking to you, because you've also kind of validated a lot of the things that we do, and we feel like we still need to connect with the greater community, with people like you, because it is through community that some of these things happen. We cannot be one man against some of these things. Yeah, very true, very true. Well, I'm sure there are a number of people who watch this will be inspired by you. Some may even reach out to you, and I hope that happens. I hope your business grows from strength to strength. I really do. You're doing a fantastic job, and I'm thankful to God that there are people like you out there, who are making a difference. So thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much. And thank you for the platform. Okay. And thank you for the advice and the t-shirt lines that I'm going to print and put on the t-shirt. You're funny. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you too. Thank you. All right, we'll talk again. Definitely. You're now a mentor for the Africa School of Entrepreneurship. We will talk again. Yes, apparently I am. Yes, I will fill that form in. You did send it to me, and I did think, yeah, I should do this. So I will definitely do that. Okay, and maybe we'll get some other people from the Black Economics group to do the same. I would love that. I would love that. Okay. Let's give back to those that are coming before us. Okay, great. All right. Take care. Thank you for your time.
This is Maxwell Investment Group Company Limited truck. It's coming to Tema. So everyone in the pic should see the truck has finished everything, loaded. Maxwell Investment Group Limited. So that is it.